Hello guys, welcome back to Settling in Australia. My name is Kwame and today I've got another special guest all the way from Zambia. So her name is Sister Beauty. So Sister Beauty was lucky enough to come and study in Australia using the Australian Award Scholarship. Yes, the Australian Award Scholarship. So this scholarship is 100% funded by the Australian government. So I'm going to call Sister Beauty so she can throw more light in regards to her journey, how she applied for it, and if there's any tricks and tips to give out to you guys. So those that are looking at coming to study in Australia using a scholarship, this is a video for you to learn a thing or two from. Before we get into this video, know that I'm not a migration agent, so please use any advice in this video as general advice only. Do not go anywhere. I'm going to call Sister Beauty, then we kickstart this interview. Hello, Sister Beauty. Thanks so much for coming on Settling in Australia. I trust you're doing well.
Thank you, Brother Kwame. I'm doing fine, but just a cold.
Just cold, yes. We are in winter now and it's very, very cold.
It's crazy.
Anyways, thank you so much for coming on Settling in Australia. So guys, Sister Beauty is from Zambia and she was so lucky enough to be selected through the Australian Award Scholarship. Yes, so today she's going to give us a lot of insight in regards to how you guys can also maybe go through the exact same channel if you are lucky. I'm pretty sure she's going to share a lot of insight with you guys today. So Sister Beauty, I already know you. Yeah, so before we get started, do you want to just introduce yourself? Just give us a bit of a background so our audience know who you are.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Brother Kwame, for having me here. It's such a pleasure finally being on your channel after watching you for so many years.
Oh,
You've actually guided me through the application process, you know? Like part of those channels that I would actually refer to when I'm stuck and just want to make certain decisions and know what's happening. I would always get to your channel. I was introduced to you by my sister.
Sister Annabelle, yes.
Yeah, so my name is beauty.nalwendo. And I'm from Zambia. Originally, I've settled in Livingstone, which is the tourist capital city of Zambia. And I did my high school in Eastern Province in Chipata, and then came to the University of Zambia. So I did my bachelor's in public administration and development studies. So since then, I have been in the development sector world. I didn't want to go corporate. Yeah, I purposely just decided to say office work is not mine. So I got into research, I got into consultancy from the time I graduated. Yeah, up to the time that I came here. Yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing.
So when you finished your bachelor's, you did a bit of work in Zambia, right?
Yeah, I did.
But not in the corporate sector.
No, not in the corporate sector. So my work was in NGOs and just personal consultancies, working with professors from different universities, University of Michigan, Missouri University, University of Berkeley, and such.
Wow. So just research and your NGO. Is the NGO for you or?
So so after school, I co-founded an NGO called Development 360, based in Livingstone. We work with children and young people, and so that is basically me and my other co-founder, with Cynthia, running. Yeah.
And what is it called?
Development 360. Yeah, we have a Facebook page. You can just check us out.
Okay. We're going to leave the link in the description section below. Just go and show your support. For Sister Beauty.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. So you did that, then you decided to just run away from Zambia and come to Australia to do your master's.
So since my undergrad, I actually knew that I never wanted to do my master's in Zambia because I think during high school I had an opportunity to to travel, but I actually didn't get it because, guardians and all that, they were like, oh, you're too small, you can't travel out of
You
the
can't
country,
travel.
because at that time I was just maybe 16. So I grew up with that interest of saying, okay, one day I will have to study abroad. So when I
Okay.
finished my degree, I started actually applying for scholarships, but I had to take a break because I became a mother.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, I took a break for about 2 years, literally a break from work, a break from everything. I
From
just became a
everything just to be
stay-at-home
a
mom.
mother.
Yeah, I became a
Wow.
stay-at-home mom. So yeah, during that process, of course, I would have some work that would allow me to work from home. Like,
Oh,
of
okay.
course, maybe someone just needs something to write, I would take that. And then also during that process, I took it as a time for me to, of course, expand my CV, like do local fellowships and also do online fellowships. So I applied in a lot of that, and thankfully I have a very supportive partner who's
Okay.
actually been seeing me through this process. Sometimes he'll
Yeah, so he
just
supported
babysit.
you.
Yeah, he'll just babysit and he'll say, okay, do your thing and I'll take over the children. So
Oh,
he's
nice.
been
God bless
really
him.
he's really been on my side, like, throughout the process.
Mm,
So I
mm.
took that process to do the local fellowships. Some of them were abroad, like, but then were online, like with
Okay.
UNESCO and some South African based organizations. I think I did
Mm,
2 or 3. Yeah. But during that whole process, I never stopped applying. So
mm.
I had my second child again during the process.
Oh my
And then,
God. So not one, but two.
yeah, I had two. So,
Wow.
after my second child, my partner, I've attempted so many scholarships, like during that process, I've attempted
Mm.
the Cambridge Shared Scholarship. I've attempted the Fulbright Scholarship.
Wow. So you
Uh,
were trying like a lot of countries, right?
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So Australia, surprisingly, was actually never on my mind.
Most people
Yeah,
do not, when it comes to like studying in Australia, especially people from Africa, most people do not consider Australia. I find that like everyone is like UK,
it's
Canada,
true,
US,
true.
yeah, Europe,
Truthfully,
yeah,
it's not very popular. It's not
yeah.
very popular
Mm,
because for me, I think maybe because of my work experience with the people that I've worked with. Most of the time when they come, they would encourage you to say, "Oh, apply at my university," and most of these universities would be in the US,
US,
and
yeah.
yeah, one in the UK. So of course, for me, my first priority was the UK, and
Mm,
then the UK. So I did apply Cambridge. I did apply also at Berkeley University, but I never completed it because I think they needed a lot of paperwork, and at that time I did
mm,
have that commitment to just follow up with a lot of paperwork. So I didn't go, but I did apply also for at University of Michigan on the
wow.
combined study where you do 7 years of straight study, but you do it together with masters and your PhD within
PhD.
that same 7 years. Yeah. So that one I didn't go through, but then the professor had to. I got very good feedback that I should work on my qualifications, probably get a master's or something in relation to that, then I'll be eligible. Yeah, so
Okay.
something that I'm trying to look into maybe when I'm done with my master's. Yeah,
You asked
so
this. Okay.
sure. I did also attempt to apply for the Mandela Fellowship. So for the
Wow.
Mandela Fellowship, I actually have been shortlisted actually twice.
Oh,
And I've been
congrats.
yeah, I've been on the waiting list actually twice, but I
Mm,
didn't get through. So I gave up.
okay.
Then during the process, of course, I came across. So we have so before maybe I go forth further, we have this family friend that we have that has been a very good family friend. He's doing his PhD in Australia.
In Australia.
So
Okay.
he's a person who actually told me to say, oh, try to apply in these schools here. So he's been talking me into it for the past 3 years, but
Mm,
I think 2023 I just said, okay, let me give it a try. So in my browsing, I would spend a lot of time online, guys. It's a lot of commitment, actually. You have to use a lot of
Search.
data. Yeah, you have to use a lot of data. You spare a lot of time to just be online and search. My daughter would always fight with my daughter, and she'd go like, "But mommy, what are you doing? You're always
You're not spending
on
time
your
with her.
laptop.
Just researching,
You're
looking for
always on your
scholarship.
laptop. You never finish working,"
Oh
because
my
you
God.
find that every time she comes, maybe
Mm,
sometimes you spare a bit of time, you be with them, but then you have to, because you have deadlines, you get
mm.
back to your stuff. She'll find you again on your PC. Like,
Oh,
you never stop working, yeah. So it actually has to be purposefully that you set time away from your busy life and just get to search for these opportunities. So I did bump into the Australian Awards. That was my
awards.
first time. Yeah, first time finding it and attempting it. So
Wow.
if I may say, if I can talk about the application process really is very straightforward. The server itself is very user friendly because it guides you all through the process. When you start, you just enter in your details,
Mm,
and then it will guide you through your work experience, any other fellowships or awards you've been. So for me, that was my time to write about all those home based fellowships that I would
fellowships that
do.
you were doing.
Yeah, the South African ones, the ones with UNESCO and
Mm.
all that. So that
So
was my
they
time.
didn't just ask about your academics, but also what you've
No, no,
done
no.
outside of that.
So that's the thing with the Australian awards. So they just don't want you to just
Mm.
talk about your academics, but you talk about what you've given back to your community. So for
Community.
me, it was my time to talk about what I've been able to learn academically,
Mm.
professionally, and also what I am doing in my community. So I had to integrate um, my organization and what my organization has done, the kinds of
Mm.
impact we've been making, and how just as an organization we've been able to grow. From an organization that started with 4 people, now we have 12 people that are under us. So to me, that is
Wow.
really good
Wow.
success. Yeah,
Wow. Wow.
that is really good success and a lot of commitment because we had to tell ourselves to say, okay, we are done consulting. If
Mm.
consultancies come, we will do them, but we are done working in full time. We have to follow our passion and just see what we can do for our community.
Community. Mm.
Yeah. So and then after that, then you go into your academics. They would ask you about what you've done academically. You attach your
Mm.
CV and all that. So yeah, I did submit. So
Okay.
the call usually opens around February, March.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're actually very open, like for a very long time, and I think they close after 3 months.
Yep.
So everyone has enough time. You have enough time to collect your recommendations, from professional recommendations, academic recommendations, all that. You need to just put them in
Mm.
nearby and then apply. So yeah, I did apply. I did reach out to my former lecturers from University of Zambia, and also former professors that I've worked with. One who's been very helpful is one from University of
Michigan.
Michigan State University. Yeah, he's been
Mm.
very helpful because I've worked with him on a longer time and we've been very close since. So yeah, so
So,
we
sorry,
submit.
sorry to distract you. So, will you say that you working with maybe professors outside of Zambia also helped with your application?
I think so. I think so to some extent, but
Okay,
really that
because they
does
didn't
not
just see that
disqualify.
you were not just based what do you call it, interested in just working in Zambia, but you were also doing research outside of Zambia. So, do you think that
Yeah,
was like a point that maybe got you helped and got you selected
it could have, because you're just not yeah, it could have, because it just shows that you're not just limited to yourself,
to one
and
thing?
you're not very picky in the kinds, because I've seen people who come to say, oh, I can't work in this sector, or I can't do
Mm,
this, but then you don't know where it will lead you. Because when I started working with him, actually, the pay wasn't so good, what I mean? Like,
mm,
it was peanuts, really, really peanuts.
mm, mm.
Sometimes I would walk to work, like walk for an hour to just go meet him. But then eventually I've seen that through our relationships and through commitment, that those services changed. But then the other thing that I got is that we got to build a very strong relationship. And he would write very good recommendations for me. Not because I knew him personally, but because he would, the relationship, the work relationship that we had, like he would show to say, okay, this person is committed, this person is hardworking, and they do their stuff. Yeah, so what I would say, I think what really helped was his very strong recommendation. I think, it helped really a lot. So for those that if you're applying, you have to pick people that you know that these ones are going to put in very good word for you.
Those that you feel they'll give you good recommendation.
Yes.
Okay.
So we did apply during that period, and we had to wait, September I think was the time that we got responses. So I almost didn't apply actually, because I gave up because I was telling my partner to say, oh, these are just like any others that we've applied. So and he actually just made me to say, you know what, you're going to submit this application, and I told him to say no. So I missed the first deadline, and luckily, I think it was God, they extended 3 more days because they were having difficulties with their server. So during that 3 days, I put in my application, I think 30 minutes before they closed.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
so last minute.
I was so sure that it actually didn't go through. I was so sure. I moved away from that. I found a new job. My baby had grown. She was a year old now. I got back into working and all that. So September was actually when we got responses to say, oh, you've been shortlisted.
Oh my God. How did you feel on that day?
Oh my God, it was surreal. It was so surreal. Like, it was unbelievable. I've never, especially in scholarships, like from the time I started applying, I've never gotten that response. Every time you knew to say what will come is, unfortunately, you actually look for that word.
Wow.
So when it came, I was actually at work when I received that email. I stepped outside, I went into the bathroom, and I screamed. I literally screamed.
Out of excitement.
So people came and they asked me, what's happening? And I said, there's nothing, I'm fine.
No, you can't share. No.
Yeah, I'm just excited. So when I went home, it was really a very good celebration. I shared with mom and my partner, and it was really good. Yeah, So
let's say from the day you applied till you got that email, how long did that take you?
So I applied in that was April.
Yes.
Then I got the email in September.
5 months.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So guys, it took long. 5 months. Yeah. So those that wants to just apply and come to Australia within a week, it's not possible. Sometimes it takes time. The process might take time. Wow. So it took you 5 months and you finally got the good news. Okay. Yeah. So those that do not know what the Australia Award is, so it's basically an award not from the university but from the government. Yeah. So the Australian government gives this award. They've allocated this to, I think, all the continents. Yeah. So when it comes to Africa, we have selected countries that are eligible to apply for this award. I think you need to be over 25, right?
Yes, you need to be over 25.
Yeah. And there are some terms and conditions you need to meet, before you can also apply for this Australian Award scholarship. Can you tell us some of the benefits that comes with this award, please?
Okay. It's a fully funded.
Yes.
It's a fully funded scholarship. So
when you say fully funded, can you go into details? Yeah. Like, is it just for your tuition fee?
Yeah.
Or accommodation and everything is inclusive?
It's your tuition fee, fully paid tuition fee, fully paid overseas health cover. And then you receive a stipend every bi-weekly, like every fortnight, that goes towards your feeding and your accommodation. And then as well as it allows you, I think what is most important for me is that it allows you to move with your family. It allows you to move with your spouse and your children. So of
Wow.
course the cost will be on you, but just the fact that that cup
You're having
is
this opportunity.
available,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a very good thing. And then what is most important is that, before you travel to wherever you are going, of course Australia, before you depart, they will give you time where all the scholars meet. So for us, we met in Pretoria. That was in December. We met in
Okay.
Pretoria. We got to meet with all the scholars. They just ran us through what to expect, how to prepare ourselves, how to find accommodation, where to shop, yeah,
Wow.
and just what to look out for. So it was like a 3 days meeting,
Mm.
with, yeah, the
With
with
other
all the
applicants that got
officials, the
selected.
DFAD, yeah, or DFAD officials, and also yeah, the company that was in charge of the awards.
Okay. Okay.
So
So from
yeah,
Zambia, how many people got selected?
so during our cohort, we are three
Oh my
ladies.
God. Three ladies, all ladies.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
So we have one
Guys, what
who's
is happening to us?
over 1,000 or
People applied.
7,000 that applied, yes,
Okay.
and they only shortlisted three. So it was to eight. It was eight, and then it was taken down to three. It's really tight. It was really tight because we have some
Mm.
countries where they only picked one.
One. Mm.
Yeah. So on benefits wise, I would say the Australian Awards is very good. And then on top of
Mm.
that, with which they give you some sort of settling allowance that you
Wow.
receive. Of course, they would require you to travel with some money, like
Of
about
course, of course.
500,
You
yeah,
cannot put all
about
your,
500,
what do you call
yeah,
it? All your
yeah,
expenses on them. Yeah, they'll take care of most of the
yeah,
major ones, but it's good if you also have some funding to support yourself a
sure,
little bit. Okay. So now let's
yeah,
jump. So now let's jump from Zambia to Australia. So which
yeah.
uni are you studying now?
So currently, I'm with Monash University,
Oh my
and
God. Yeah. So guys, Monash is one of the biggest universities in Australia. When it comes to Victoria, woo, yeah. Without funding, it's going to be
yeah,
difficult for most of
yeah,
international students to even pay the tuition fees, you know? So, wow, thumbs up for that. Okay, so how are you finding it?
it's good. Monash is Wonderland.
Oh my God, look at how she says it. But that's just Wonderland. Don't try and make people jealous. Oh,
It's good. It's good. So
oh.
I decided to study Monash at Monash. Actually, I
Mm,
had I had chosen another university, but because of with UNZA, which is University of Zambia, we had switched from um, a term semester system to term system. So that kind of
okay,
during my study, I found that I had to do both.
okay,
So one of them couldn't take me because they didn't have pathways, but
okay.
Monash, which was my second option, actually were offering pathways. So that allowed me to get into that, start first with my grad certificate and then get into my master's.
Masters.
Yeah,
Okay, so now
right.
what sort of course are you doing? Masters of what?
Public policy.
Public policy. Wow. And how are you
Yeah.
finding that?
It's good.
It's
It's
good.
very nice. First, it was so confusing because the teaching system is so different.
It's different, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, the
But
teaching
once you
system
get
is so
used to it,
different
it's
compared
okay,
to
right? Mm.
Zambia. Yeah, like you here you are, they just aid you and you do the rest to yourself. The
Okay.
writing system as well is kind of different.
Mm.
So yeah, for me it had to do a lot of I had to do a lot of learning. I had to do a lot of de-learning what I knew first, and
You
then
have to
adopt
unlearn
new
to
ones.
learn. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, to learn
yeah,
the new system. Yeah. So
yeah.
sometimes
But now,
when you come here, you need to give yourself a bit of time to adjust because a lot of things will be different.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So how do you I want us to now talk about Australia. How do you find Australia? Your first impression when you got here. How do you find us?
My first impressions was like, okay, I didn't like it,
You
truthfully.
didn't like it?
The first
Yes.
time I arrived, let me tell you the truth, Brother Kwame. The
Yes,
first time
please,
I
please
arrived,
give
I
us the
was like,
truth.
oh, is this where I want to be? Because
Mm,
it was so spacious. Like especially Melbourne. Melbourne is so spacious. There are trees everywhere. but
It's very green. Yeah.
it's very green. But like being here a week after, my perception just drastically changed.
Changed.
I love it. Honestly, I love it. It's the things I complained about, I actually got to appreciate them a lot.
The most.
Because like the space, the houses are big. You have your spaces, you have your big spaces.
Those that wants to go to UK, listen. The houses are big here.
Yeah, the houses are big.
Are big here.
You
a lot
have
of space.
a lot of space. Your yard is big. You can do gardening. I love gardening myself. I do that a lot back home. So even when I was choosing where to stay, I wanted a flat that can allow me to at least do a little bit of what I want to do, even in courts, just plant. So, and it's very green. You have a lot of parks everywhere. The transport system is amazing.
Yes.
It's
preach
very
on,
organized.
sister. Amen, sister. Preach on. Make them jealous.
Yeah, the transport system is so amazing. It's so organized. When I arrived a little bit late than my colleagues because of my visa. My visa had delayed for about a week. Yeah. So I had delayed. So when I arrived, I had a friend of mine, she's from Tanzania. She had to help me around with settling, moving, and whatnot. So I remember when we were going to uni, we were crossing the road, and I just walked in and crossed, and she was like, "No, you don't do that here." So
you were just crossing. Oh my God!
And then we had to wait, and you know what? And we were given chance to cross, and I was like, "Whoa, this is so different with my country." Yeah.
So the law actually works here. Nice.
Yeah. So far, I think I've really adjusted. Okay. I love it. I love my uni a lot. If I can really talk about Monash is big. Apart from they're so strong in research, especially, I've discovered that they're very, very.
When
very
it comes to research, yeah. So Monash and Melbourne, Uni of Melbourne.
And Melbourne.
Yes, Uni of Melbourne. Yeah, it's all researched. So if you are if you're someone that is interested to do more of research, then you need to target this. If you want to come to Victoria, then you need to target either Monash or Uni Melbourne, and they give a lot of scholarships too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're very supportive, especially where like academic wise. There are so many support systems. There are counseling systems. If you just feel like you're having a breakdown, there are free services for counseling. You have your free medical services that you can access through your OHC cover. And you have like drop-in centers for people who are struggling, especially with language. If English is not your first language, you have those services where they can teach you how to speak and write and just express yourself in English. Yeah.
Okay. So guys, I know this conversation is getting interesting. So now let's ask Sister Beauty the hard question. So if someone is watching us now and they want to apply for this sort of award and they need help, I know you are really, really busy. Are you willing to support someone like that?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Yeah, I would. It would be my pleasure, actually.
Okay.
To show someone who's willing. Yeah.
Who is willing? Okay. Yeah. So, guys, as you guys heard, Sister Beauty, the process takes a lot of paperwork and a lot of time, and she's also offered. You see, I asked for a consent and she's giving out publicly. Okay. So guys, I'll leave Sister Beauty's email on the screen and also in the description section below if you are ready. Okay, so make sure you've done your research. Don't just email her and say, Sister Beauty, can you help me with the whole thing? Nah. So if you've started the process and you need maybe an advice, then you can reach out to her and she'll be able to advise you. And Sister Beauty, so before we wrap things up, if someone is watching now and they're also going through the exact same process, what is the most important two advice you give to such person?
First, the most important one is one has to be mentally prepared. You have to know what you want first and foremost, because like I said, the process is so taxing. It's
Mm-hmm.
draining, honestly, because it's a lot of anxiety. Apart because when you after getting your acceptance, you have to wait for you. So I think there's something that I skipped. Sorry, let me take you back. So after your picked, that you're selected, so it doesn't actually end there.
Okay.
So your selection is for the scholarship. Then after that, you have to now go back and start applying for those schools that you had picked within your application. So the
Okay.
fact that you've gotten the acceptance for the scholarship does not mean then you get the acceptance for the school. So then you have to go back
Oh.
and reapply to the particular schools that you applied for.
Okay.
So then, yeah, that
So
also is
basically, what this basically means is, you applying for the Australian Award Scholarship doesn't mean you've got acceptance into a uni in Australia. So the
yes,
scholarship is basically saying that they're going to fund your studies and everything
yes,
in Australia. So it's now up to you to go and apply at a
to
uni
the school at the
and get an
uni, yeah, at the
admission,
uni,
go through the
yeah,
GS
and the uni
process
has
and
to
the
be
rest.
willing to.
Okay.
So now from there, you have to make sure you're in touch with your previous university. It's a lot of back and forth.
Yes, it's a
And
lot of
then,
process.
just the waiting period, because before you are shortlisted to attend the interviews, because they're interviews, and then you
Okay.
have to wait for the shortlist. It's nerve-wracking because it's anxiety. You don't know whether you've made it, you've not made it. You've met during interviews, maybe because they would brief you before the interviews, and then you
Okay.
are a lot, then you don't know who has made it and who has not. And then
Okay.
the wait period is so long. Like I said, you have to wait from maybe um, a month
Five
or
to
so, I
six
think,
months.
from the
Yeah.
time that you are shortlisted. Yeah, because we had to
Mm.
wait from September. We only knew that we were shortlisted in November. And
Wow.
then from November to December is like a marathon. You have to do so many things.
Mm.
Yeah. So my advice would be, you have to first know what you want, because that will prepare you mentally and physically. And also, if you can get all the support that you need, your parents, your siblings, your
Mm-hmm.
partner, just
Mm-hmm.
bring them on board, because that's your support system that you might need when
Need.
at times you because the stress is so much, you break down, you cry, but you have to have someone who's actually going to God. I don't know how many times I cried in the presence of my
You
partner.
will. You will. Yeah.
And every time he will just
You
literally
need to be
just hold
mentally
me like a
strong.
baby and
Yeah.
just
Mentally
encourage me.
strong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. He will always, he's the one who held it all together. If
Mm.
I say it's me, I would lie.
Mm.
Because he was my support system. So
God
many
bless him.
times that I was unsure about the process, so many times that I thought, okay, this is I can't do this
Most
anymore. I
people
don't know
start
whether
the
I'll get.
process and they just give up.
Yeah, I
Because
don't
they
know whether
think
I'll
it's
get
it's
it
too
or
much.
not. So the
Wow.
anxiety was so much. When I got my first rejection at the uni because of that, like, the whole transition, that was, for
Mm.
me, that was like, it's done. Now I
Oh
give up.
my God. Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
but yeah, so you have to have a really, really support system. Know who your people are, and bring them on board as early as possible. Let them know what you are up to. That way you will get all the support that you need. I
Yeah.
think that is my first advice.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
And the
and
second one,
my second one is really just do your homework.
do your
Um,
research.
yeah, do your research. Check what courses you want, and please make also, because for some people, I've seen that. I think these are the mistakes also that I did in the past, where because I have passion in this field, but I don't have experience in that field. Because
Mm.
I like the course, I would apply, but I don't have experience to back it up. So when even they ask me to say, why have you decided to choose this course? I have little to say.
When
But
we're
when you
writing your SOP, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But when
Mm.
you talk about something that you have experience with, something that you are passionate about, it's very easy to even for
Mm.
someone to actually even read through you to say, okay, this one knows what that they're doing. So choose something that is really very close to your heart, something that you're
Mm.
passionate about, something that you can easily relate to. If you've been working in the health sector, the environment, choose something in
Related to
that
that.
regard. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So for me, it had to do with policy because I've been working around that sector for a very long
For a
time.
long time.
Working
Okay.
with the local councils,
Mm.
advocating for policy reforms for women and young girls. So it was very easy for me to even tweak some of my answering to bring it
Mm.
back home to what I'm doing.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
And the last part, the last advice is
Okay, so
because
I asked her for two, but she wants to give out three now.
yeah,
Okay,
the last advice that I
give
would
it
say
to
is
us. Mm-hmm.
if you have kids, if you have a child, if you have children, bring them
Mm.
along. Honestly, the
Okay,
stress of
so
just
did you bring your kids or you left them in Zambia?
they're in Zambia, but they are to join me very soon.
Very soon. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
very soon.
Mm.
So I'm speaking from experience because uh being a mother, you miss them so much.
Mm.
Sometimes you actually feel to say, okay, I'm going to go crazy.
Because they
So
are not
if
they are
you
not
have
around
them,
you. Mm.
because what they advise is you first have to come here, you settle down. That is very important. That advice, guys, is very important. You have to first
Mm.
find your footing, then you can bring them
Yeah,
with
yeah.
you. The sooner the better. And if you feel you can manage to actually leave them and do your 2 years, your 1 year plus away from them, that's fine. But then if you are an emotional person like me,
Like
you are
you.
better off
Mm.
just having them, yeah, closer by because it's easier to see them do your school. Of course, it will have a lot of restrictions, but you have to have your support. If you are able to travel with your partner, you
Do
give
it.
each other turns to babysit.
Mm.
Um, those that can be in kindergarten, let them be in kindergarten. If they're smaller ones, you take turns in looking after them.
Mm.
Yeah, then that way you'll be good. But
Okay.
all in all I can say is give it a try. For that person who wants to actually apply, let them just go ahead. There's nothing to fear.
There's
Because
nothing stopping
sometimes,
you. Yeah. And it's
yeah,
not like they are going to charge you
sometimes
money to put in your application, you know?
exactly,
It's
exactly.
free. So just go for it. You
Yeah,
never know.
yeah. Because sometimes we fear things from afar. When you peruse through, you look at the questions and then you fear, be like, oh no, this is not me. So sometimes just attempting, keep trying. There's so many times some of the experiences I've not been spoken about them because there's so many. Like I've
Mm.
been trying for the past 4 years to just try to get a scholarship and it
Oh
has failed.
yes. Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So
Wow.
it's not easy. You just have to keep trying and trying. The rejections are so
I
many.
think I think God saw that you were too tired. It's like, this my sister is too tired.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, true. I kept telling God to say, God, if you don't make it happen this year, then
Yeah, it's
forget.
like
I'm not doing this again.
it's like 4 years. So guys, it took her 4 years, going through a lot of rejections and see what God
Yeah.
did. Yeah. So
I,
God was
I'm
on your
not
side too.
counting those years when I was being a mother. Those are aside. So
Oh
the
my
ones that I'm
God. So it's
counting
even
right
longer
now,
than that.
yeah, the ones that I'm
Wow.
counting right now are the ones that I was in full swing of wanting to do this thing. You know what? Yeah,
Mm, mm.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for your advice and also giving a lot of detailed insight. So, guys, if you're watching and you want to, you're looking for like scholarship options, there you go. Sister Beauty has given out all the gist, and all the little tricks in regards to how you can maybe get shortlisted. So, what is next? I know your family is joining you soon. So, let's say after you are done with your masters, what is next?
Do my PhD.
PhD. That's a good
Yeah,
answer. So that means
but
she
the
loves Australia.
I do. So,
Mm.
but then the Australian awards unfortunately have this embargo where you have to go back to your home
Go back to your
country
home
for
country.
2 years to
Mm.
implement your reintegration plan. So then after 2 years, you can then re-enter the country again to do your studies or work or do anything. Yeah.
Okay, let
So
me also throw more light here. So guys, the scholarship, yes, you come, you study, but when you finish, you need to go back to your home country. Else you have to what? Pay back all the money,
you
right?
have to pay back. It's a lot of
Please tell
money.
them. Yeah,
It's a lot of money. Yeah, it's a lot of money. So what is wise is just go back home
just go back. Yeah.
because you have those commitments. You have a commitment to your country
Mhm.
for letting you come here already That's the support that you have from your government. You have the support that you have from your community. So you owe it to them actually
So
to
go
just
back and
go
give
back.
back what you've
Yeah,
learned. Hmm.
give back what you've learned. If you feel you still need to come back and study more, come
Come
back
and do your
or go to
PhD.
any other country that you feel if Australia is not your place. But guys, Australia is awesome. It's
Nah,
family.
Australia should be your place. If you come to Melbourne, you don't like Melbourne, go to Sydney, go to Western Australia, South Australia. Trust me, every state's got their own unique vibe. Trust me.
Yeah,
Yeah, the vibe you feel in Melbourne or in Victoria is not the exact same vibe you feel in NSW. It's all different. Yeah. So if you
true,
feel,
true.
maybe Melbourne is not for me, go to Sydney, go to Perth, go to South Australia,
Yeah,
go to
yeah.
Darwin. Yeah, go to Hobart. Australia got a lot for you guys. Okay. So thank you so much, Sister Beauty. Yeah, for taking your time. Yeah, taking your Saturday time. I know Saturday is the day we do
Yeah,
all our little bits and pieces, go to the grocery shop, do your laundry, yeah, do your cleaning. Yeah, but you've taken all this time aside to come and educate our audience, especially our audience in Africa. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. And there you go, guys. So I'm going to leave Sister Beauty's email in the description section below and also on the screen. In case you want a tip or two from her, please feel free to email her. And if she's available and free, I'm pretty sure she's going to spend some time and also reply to your emails. Bye bye.